Hi folks, welcome back to the Carver's Woodshop. We're going to start another project here, the same size as we had before. This is a sitting series. Again, we're going back to that. I had a couple of ideas for it once again, and I decided to try this out one more time and see what we come up. Now honestly, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but what I'm planning to do is do a sitting Indian chief, and with the headdress as you know them to have, with a lot of feathers. Like I said, I have no idea, so we're going to call him Chief Bull, Sitting Chief Bull. I thought that would be an appropriate name for him. And so we're going to start here in a little bit. As you can see, we almost drew the same look as we did with doing a Santa hat. And then I have a little bit longer face, okay, coming down and around. And really, I don't believe that he'll have the eyebrows like the others, simply because the headdress is going to come down pretty far. So we're going to go ahead and start, and we'll see what it turns out to be. Like I said, I have no clue, and that's half the fun of doing these. So the first thing I did was I took a piece of wood that's 3 1/4 long, 3 1/4 by 1.5 by 1.5, and this is a little wider on the top. This is a 1 1/4 from 1.5, so you're taking off just an 1/18 of an inch on either side. Now you can cut that off with a regular knife if you want to take the time than going through a bandsaw. But this is what I came up with, and this is kind of the design I like to go with to try new projects. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start back here, and I'm going to just start chopping upwards. Okay, where we cut this is exactly 1 1/2 inches down from the top, before we taper it. So again, it's 3 1/4 by 1 1/2 by 1 1/4 and 1 1/2 going down to that edge. Now I drew his face. The actual is 2.5 inches down is where I start the top of the nose and the top of the headdress, and his chin might go up a little further, might be up about 1 inch. His feet sticking out, his sitting feet, is about almost 1 inch, not quite. Okay, almost 1 inch, not quite, and about 3/4 of an inch going across, and then making it oval. So first thing I want to do is kind of look at it from the side and see the headdress is going to come, it's going to drape over. It's not going to go straight up, like, because we don't have the room for that. So we're going to just take this across, and we're just going to start looking at it from the front here, and we're just going to start bringing this back. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm going to cut this up, bring this up a little bit. So the first thing we want to try to do is get the profile of it done, so we're just going to cut this out. We're going to cut that corner off a little bit, because technically it's going to be oval, a little bit of an oval shape. So looking at it from the front, we're going to have a little bit of a dome look to it. I looked at a couple of pictures, but this is kind of out of my own head, so after looking at a few, I decided to maybe try it this way. Alright, so we're going to come back here and bring this down. the back portion, we're just kind of flatten this out a little bit. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do is keep going back here. You notice my knife is getting a little bit dull. I should resharpen it. Now it kind of fans out a little bit, so we don't want to do too much here, but we do want it rounded at the top. I'm going to wet it a little bit just to make it a little bit easier to cut. We're going to put the nose in here, right at the top here. We're going to start. So we can't get this headdress to look right. There's no sense of doing the rest of it, so bear with me as we kind of go through here to try to get this down and around here. And same thing over here. That comes up. So I drew two lines coming up and around, and we're going to cut this out first. Usually their headdress goes down quite a ways. The strape is down pretty far. I often say I don't know how it's going to turn out until I'm done with it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now there's going to be a lot of cutting on this because we're going to have to cut all the feathers in, and so this is going to be a little bit longer project than some of my others because of the detail that's going to be involved. Okay. I'm going to try to bring this a little flatter and out, flaring out like this. Okay. Back here, I'm going to kind of put where his head's going to be in the back. We're going to cut this out.